Happy Holi on the final word. Adam Collins, Geoff Lemon, Bharat Sundaresan. As you can tell, we have been Holi'd day before the fourth Test match at Ahmedabad, which is quite the event at Modi Stadium between Australia and India, or India and Australia, as it were. But first things first, Geoff, we've had the cultural experience on the Holi day to be coloured up, and I feel so much better for it.
Well, why wouldn't you? Anytime you can be hot pink, if you're not hot pink, and you can become hot pink, it's a better day. Things just improve in that colour. Frankly, it astonishes me that people in our part of the world have taken so long to realise the benefits of hot pinkness. The tiny toy Barbie Corvette, the cool shades like the frames on your sunglasses, everything's better in hot pink.
All right, strong views from Geoff to start. Daniel Norcross behind the camera with Phil Long as well. Bharat, can you tell us just in summary, what's the colour all about when it comes to Holi? Give us a feel for what we're expressing and seeing across the city today.
Basically, Holi is the celebration of the arrival of spring, the end of winter, out with the cold, in with the hot, out with the old, in with the new. That's what Holi is. And this is when you mend relationships, make relationships like we did with Raj and Riya, who helped us become a part of their Holi celebration at the start. But it's also, in mythological terms, the story of a son, a pious son, killing his demon king father.
Wow, that seems pretty intense. As it probably will be at Ahmedabad tomorrow. Sorry about the crude segue, but here we go. Steve Smith has been talking to us. We interviewed him yesterday. We heard from him again today. They think, Geoff, that this surface is the one that's most likely in the series to give them potentially a couple of days to bat. They don't think it will spin quite so much on morning one.
No, although it was a masterful performance from Steve Smith of saying, we'll wait and see to literally every question. Whatever the answer was, well, we'll have to wait and see how that might go. How the pitch might play, whether they might play three spinners, whether they would be better off using different techniques than they'd been using on other surfaces, all of the rest of it. Everything was wait and see. But look, there is a very green pitch that they're not using, and there is a somewhat less green pitch that they are using.
Yeah, so they're using the black soil pitch that we spoke about yesterday, Brad. The one that was over my left shoulder in yesterday's video, I'm pretty sure. What Smith was quite effusive about was how much he enjoys captaining three spinners. I'd be flabbergasted if they don't go in with the same configuration with Mitchell Starc and Cam Green as the seamers, who might do more heavy lifting in the first innings before the three tweakers take over.
Yeah, the one thing about Holi I didn't speak about was we haven't been drenched in water, but that also happens because this is the start of summer. So you want to be drenched in water. It's bloody 40 degrees here. Yeah. And speaking of water, this pitch has been watered. Unlike the one in Indore, which wasn't watered for 1.5 days before the test began. There was some watering done today. Both teams admitted to it, so did the umpires. So that's a good sign for the pitch to hold up for day one and day two. But like you said, I don't think Steve Smith is ready to move away from the three-spinner formula. Yeah. He was very proud of how his team won with three spinners, and he also took a few pot shots maybe at some of the noises coming back from Australia, sort of criticizing their approach. So I don't think they'll move away from the game. I saw Cam Green was bowling his heart out yesterday, so was Mitchell Starc. They're good to go. Same 11 for me from Australia.
It probably will be for India as well. KS Bharat received quite the endorsement from Rohit Sharma, the captain, in the press conference today. He's not best pleased with the criticism that India have received after losing at Indore about them being maybe a little bit ahead of themselves. And the overlay to this test match, of course, is that India may need to win to make it to the World Test Championship final. So in the very same way that Australia arrived at Indore this time last week with loads on the line, that's now the case for India.
Well, it's very much the case, and there's that thing of, like, sure, Sri Lanka probably aren't going to go and whitewash New Zealand, but
they might.
There's that old line about wanting your destiny to be in your own hands, and if they can sort out this series the way that they should, given 3 test losses in the last 10 years, they shouldn't lose again. They shouldn't lose twice in a series, but the idea's been planted, so you never know what can happen.
Baz, the configuration of the ground is absolutely fascinating. Normally, when you're at a test match behind the curtain, it's the middle 2 or 3 pitches that they use for television games. This is all the way across the western side of the square, so that the pitches in the middle are ready for the IPL in a couple of weeks. But it does mean they've had to change the advertising boards, put up a temporary camera gantry, and block out any number of seats, which might just maybe affect the attendance tomorrow, which they're aiming for a record.
They are aiming for a record. It'll just bring it down from 132,000, as it says on that side of the ground where the pavilion is, to 110,000, which sets on our side of the ground. Yeah, and they also pulled the boundary in. We spoke yesterday about there potentially being a massive boundary when I was excited about seeing the first ever all-run 6, but that's not going to happen now. They pulled in the boundary, which also means on that side of the ground, maybe to our right from where we were standing yesterday, if you are a spectator, the sun will be on your face, but you'll also be far away from the action. So that's going to be interesting. There will be a lot of people. How much cricket they see from close up, I'm not sure.
Geoff, you got your first opportunity to see Modi Stadium this morning. There are literally chairs set up on a stage in front of pictures of the two Prime Ministers. It's going to be, we've got to get into the ground at like 7 o'clock in the morning to guarantee entry and all the rest of it. Tomorrow is going to be a test match, of course, but a lot more too.
You and I have been to a lot of test matches in a lot of countries around the world over the last 10 years or so, and we've never been to one quite like this. Even though it hasn't started yet, I feel confident in saying that already.
Geoff Lemon, Bharat Sundaresan, Adam Collins, this has been the Final Word Daily. Make sure you stay up with all of our shows through the week from the ground there at Modi Stadium. We've got other shows in the feed as well. And you know what? You know that because you already subscribe to our show. And if you don't, you can keep doing so. Thanks, Norky, for filming it. Subscribe and all the rest of it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Happy Holi!